Hello, good evening. Welcome to Eyewitness News, coming to you live from our studios at number 11, Dr. Martin Loop in Adabraka in Accra. My name is Salom Adonu. Tonight I'm here with
Hawa Idrisu Mustafa.
Coming up over the next 90 minutes, former Minority Chief Whip Muntaka Mubarak lashes out at his colleagues, describing today's controversy in Parliament over a $300 million loan facility from the World Bank as insensitive to the memory of the late John Kuma, who was deputy at the Finance Ministry that tabled the said loan agreement. Also carrying up chaos in Okanta farming community at Insawam, Eduajiri, over claims that an estate developer was taking over hundreds of acres of their farmlands with the assistance of armed security men. We'll find out more. Also, still on Eyewitness News, as Citi FM, Citi TV's Heritage Caravanites complete their tour of northern Ghana and head down south. We touch base with the team to find out where they go next. Stay with 97.3 Citi FM for more on this and other stories on Eyewitness News. And in business,
Government passes legislation to crack the whip on manufacturers of substandard cements.
There is more business in the next 50 minutes. Eyewitness News is live across the country on all our affiliates and around the globe at citynewsroom.com. In the Western region, this is Beach 105.5 FM in Takoradi and Sky Power 93.5 FM also in Takoradi. In the Bono region, this is Greener 95.9 FM in Sunyani. In the Hafu region, Hames 106.5 FM in Gosu. In the Ashanti region, this is Focus 94.3 FM in Kumasi. Orange 107.9 FM in Kumasi also. And in the Volta region, this is Revival 99.3 FM in Tajevu. Radio Bimbila 91.9 FM in the northern region. And also Tanga 93.7 FM in Boga, Tanga in the Upper East region. And Tunsong 97.3 FM in Wa. And Jirapa 96.1 FM, both in the Upper West region. Your comments are welcome via our WhatsApp line 0549-986-996. You can follow me on X at Salom Adonu. The hashtag, as always, is Citi Newsroom. Hawa gives us our first story.
The Member of Parliament for Asawasi in the Ashanti region, Mohammed Mubarak Muntaka, says the disagreement in the House over the approval of the $300 million loan facility is insensitive towards the death of the late MP for Ejiso John Kuma. The immediate past Minority Chief Whip says a day after the death of a colleague ought not to have witnessed a debate on the approval process of a loan facility from a ministry he served as a deputy finance minister. He raised the concern in a debate on the approval of a $300 million loan facility from the World Bank to support the implementation of the government 2024 budget.
I'm sorry to say this. On any day, we could have this argument and shout and scream, but not today. Today is not such a day for us to be doing this. Why? A day after the death of our colleague, we are standing here and we are screaming at each other, and the Lord is coming from the very ministry that our colleague has lost his life. How sensitive are we to each other? Yet we are here screaming at each other and talking about this law. So simply, Minister of Finance, withdraw those tax waivers so that we can unanimously as a group approve this, so that you can take your time and look at all the tax waivers, turn them into tax credits and bring them back. That one becomes neater. But now you are saying that we should give you this and then later you come and do the withdrawal. Where do you hear that? So simply withdraw the tax waivers and then we unanimously support you to get this loan.
Mohammed Mubarak Muntaka is MP for Asawasi.
Still on John Kuma and matters relating to him, the New Patriotic Party has issued a statement. They issued that statement yesterday, confirming indeed the death and also eulogizing his contribution to the party and to the country at large. Deputy General Secretary of the party, that's the New Patriotic Party, Haruna Mohammed, is joining us on the line to help us appreciate really where the party goes next from here. Hello, good evening, sir. Welcome to Eyewitness News. The death of John Kuma, Honorable, surely came to you as a shock, as it did the whole country. Hello? Hello, Haruna? Well, I don't think we have Haruna on the line as we speak. Okay, so I'm sure we have him back. Hello, Haruna. Welcome to Eyewitness News.
Thank you, Salom.
Yes, I was saying that the death of the Honorable John Kuma, young, energetic, promising politician, deputy finance minister, came to you obviously as a shock, as it did the whole country.
Yes, Salom, the New Patriotic Party was very shocked of the news yesterday. Quickly, the General Secretary of our party had to issue a statement, and they indicated all the adjectives that the New Patriotic Party had felt that losing John Kuma is a very big blow to us. Salom, you remember, this is not the first death that has hit the New Patriotic Party and the Parliament of Ghana, and we are very shocked, and that is why we have asked that our flags be flown on a half mast for 7 days.
I see. So beyond the flying the flags at half mast, of course, other things will have to kick in because it's a member of parliament. His position cannot be left vacant. It may be early days yet, but of course, people may begin jostling to be nominated or appointed or elected into that parliamentary candidate position just to fill the space before election 2024. The party surely should be thinking about that, even though we are all mourning.
That is true, but it's early days yet. The death happened yesterday, and we are all still in a state of devastation. And until the right things are done at the appropriate time, the party at this point in time would not be discussing the matter of who replaces the former member of parliament for the good people of Ejisu. For us, we know the constitution is right and fixed, and when the right time comes, the party will take steps to make sure that we truly will have a representation in that particular constituency. But at this point in time, we are deep sorrow and we are mourning the death of the former deputy minister and former member of parliament representing the good people of Ejisu.
I see. So what plans do we have yet for the? I know there are a number of things that will have to be done. Is there any official communication that the party is privy to in terms of arrangements? Because I know after a number of days there should be a 7-day or 1 week observation or observance and all of that. Is the party privy to any such information that you can share with us?
Yes. For now. We officially got to know the death of our dear brother yesterday, and the General Secretary officially also issued a statement to that effect in terms of the arrangement of the funeral and the protocols that would happen in the next 1 week or two. The family of our late brother will put that together and get informed the National Party and government together, for us to, all of us, put a program together to be able to give our brother a befitting burial and a very respecting funeral.
And the circumstances, I mean, very, very difficult situation to talk about really, but given the importance of this particular gentleman to the state, couldn't we have flown him with a helicopter or anything to Accra quickly to make him get the best of care, given everything that we've seen, rather than to leave him to travel almost 4 or 5 hours to Accra, and all of that? Was there no arrangement to airlift him from Kumasi to Accra?
That is true. Death is something that all of us, when it is about to come, there would be the opportunity for people to pinpoint that this should have been done, this should have also been done, this should have been put in place, and all that. It's because the death has occurred. For us as Muslims, we believe that when the time is right, the time is right. And we, as the people of Ghana and the New Patriotic Party, would have wished to do everything possible to have this particular young, energetic deputy minister to have lead. Notwithstanding that fact, the event has happened. And for me, I would not be able to give the narrative as to how it happened to the point of his death. If there was anything that we could do in any emergency way to be able to let our brother live, would have been able to do that. But just that the time was up. Rather, whether the time is right or not, God has done what he had to do. And he's the only person that we can leave this to.
All right, we wish you the very best, and as the whole country, goes through this moment of grief, we know you are feeling it the most as the political party on whose platform he rose to prominence, and we can only wish you the best. We also wish the family the best, and we are available to provide any support we can as far as this matter is concerned. Thank you so much, Haruna Mohammed, Deputy General Secretary of the MPP. Eyewitness News on 97.3 Citi FM. Howard gives us some more stories.
Parliament has approved a loan facility of $300 million from the World Bank to fund the first Resilient Recovery Development Policy financing. The loan is expected to help the government roll out its policies in the 2024 budget. Earlier, the minority expressed its opposition against the loan pending the government's withdrawal of the over $449 million tax waiver request before the House. But the loan facility was subsequently approved after the Minister for Finance, Mohammed Amin Adam, assured the minority group of his resolve to review the tax exemption request in 2 weeks.
First of all, this is not an IMF facility. It is a World Bank facility. It is a concessional facility, 25 years repayment period, a grace period of 5 years, interest of about 1.25%, and it has a grant element of 26%. It's concessional, and this House is familiar with such concessional facilities. Secondly, it is for budget support. This same House approved the financing for the 2024 budget, total financing of about $61 billion. And this is one of the facilities that we are pursuing to finance the financing for the 2024 budget. And therefore, as we already know, the 2024 budget through this House allocated resources to different projects and programs for the year. And so what this money will do is to come to the pool, as we know, to support the implementation of these programs for the year.
He heard the Finance Minister, Mohammed Amin Adam. Now, Information Minister designate Fatimatu Abubakar has urged agencies probing the murder of Ahmed Swale to expedite the investigation process. The gruesome murder of the Tiger IPI investigative journalist by a known assailant is yet to be resolved. During Fatima Abubakar's vetting in Parliament today, she expressed worry about violent attacks on journalists. Here are excerpts of an interaction between MP for Sagnarigo ABA Hussaini and Information Minister designate Fatimatu Abubakar.
It is on record that one of our brothers who has been a journalist, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala be pleased with his soul, Ahmed Swale, was murdered in the course of duty. And to date, there's no closure on the matter. There's no concrete this and that is forthcoming. What will you do? Will you be interested in following up to see to the conclusion of this matter?
Thank you so much, Honorable Chair. It is a matter that brings great sadness to me and all of us in the information sector. That being said, I've been briefed by the former minister that the case is still open and there is an active ongoing investigation. So we can only count on the security agencies to double up and make sure justice is delivered to the family and all loved ones.
The Information Minister designate further called for stakeholder participation in dealing with attacks on journalists in the line of their duty.
I would like to acknowledge that under no circumstance should any journalist be threatened or should fear of reporting what they ought to report because of threats or actual violence on them. I join all like-minded people in condemning any act of threat or use of force on a journalist. That being said, Honorable Chair, it is important that we join hands in public sensitization as to avenues of redress to people who feel there has been some negative reportage against them or they do not agree with journalists in the way they are executing their work. That will come at a collective effort. In instances where there has been threats or actual violence on any journalist, we at the Ministry of Information, under the leadership of Honorable Kojo Oppong-Nkrumah at the time, has sometimes referred the matter to the Ghana Police Service for investigation and also for justice to take its course.
She added that any attempt to scrap the ministry will mean an incurable harm to the nation. Answering questions posed by Ningo Prampram MP Sam Nate George during her vetting, the minister-designate said stakeholders should rather push for enough funding for the ministry to effectively discharge its duties.
As we live in an information age, it will be an incurable harm should the Ministry of Information be scrapped. If anything, I am of the belief that we should advocate for more allocation and to let people know the importance of the ministry. Honorable Chair, when the ministry was merged at a point in time with the Communications Ministry, if you had been to the Ministry of Information building or the ISD building as we have today, the evidence of the struggles of the various agencies under the ministry was not something that you could even have words to explain. It pays that we have a sector ministry that is minded, that despite the fact that the key entities under the ministry are not income generating, they play a public duty. We need to pay attention to them. It has helped improve the fortunes of the agencies under the ministry.
The Information Minister-designate said the ministry is also awaiting the arrival of 40 vans to aid in information dissemination across the country. Here, except of an interaction between the Minister-designate Fatimatu Abubakari and MP for Sagnarego, ABF Hussaini.
They have no complement of a new van in as many years as it has taken under this government. Not a single new van has been bought. And so public education and some of the things they are supposed to go out and be doing, they are stuck. So we are paying workers who are not working. This definitely is a challenge. How are you going to surmount that challenge?
So much, Honorable Chair. I couldn't agree more with the Honorable Member of the committee because I have to acknowledge that he is the ranking member for the Communications Committee, and they've been very, very helpful in terms of advocating for the ministry. That being said, I would like to inform the House that by the grace of God, in the 2024 budget, the Finance Ministry allocated some funds for the ministry to procure 40 vans for the community engagements and below the line campaign. And I am informed by the Honorable Minister for Works and Housing, who is my predecessor, that they have already started the processes and the vans will be delivered in 3 months. I am hopeful that with that addition to the fleet, we will be able to do so much in that space.
That was Information Minister-designate Fatimatu Abubakari.
Eyewitness News on 97.3 Citi FM. Let's do some more stories. Now, there's a standoff between some residents of Okanta, a farming community in the Sawam Iduajiri municipality of the Eastern region, and some armed men allegedly providing security for an excavator grading farmland in the area. The angry residents claim that a private developer, Kofi Anochi, who doubles as the CEO of Kwans Building Solutions, has acquired their farmlands, destroyed acres of farm produce, and terrorized them with the armed men. The residents are therefore calling for government intervention. But a private developer has debunked these accusations, insisting that the matter is already in court for a determination.
Oh, they are false. They are all false, Pay them religiously. The said property has been registered at the Lands Commission. Upon registration, we decided to go there. When we went there, they started some of these noise. As law-abiding citizens, we had to resort to court at Koforidua High Court. We went there, they were restrained. from working. So we thought we are at peace so far as the land is concerned. And then all of a sudden, they who are under the injunction started rather selling to people. Like you could see, they had sold some portion of the land. All those structures you see there were sold by them. And so they cannot claim that they are farming. No. There are patches of areas which farms are, but you could see houses being erected. They sold it. And so seeing us coming to work there, they feel treacherous. People will definitely go to them for their money. And that is why they are making all those false allegations. We are law-abiding citizens.
So you heard Kofi Anochi, who is a private developer and has been accused of forcefully taking over farmlands belonging to some residents at Okanta near in Sawam in the eastern region. Let's go to the phone line and speak to our own regional correspondent, Neoni Amate Kanaku, who witnessed what happened today. Hello, good evening, Ni. Welcome to Eyewitness News. What exactly can you tell us about what happened today?
Thank you very much, Salom. So we had a call from the resident that this was what was happening in that area, so we quickly had to move to the area. Now, Okanta is located in Sawam Adobe municipality, just on the main Accra Kumasi highway. So when we arrived at the scene, we saw a number of residents trooping through the farm site. Now, when we got there, we realized we saw the excavator working on site, and then close to 100 people in a heated engagement with some armed men. Now, these armed men, they were 4 in number. They were all fully armed, wearing a vest with the inscription NSPU Ghana Police Service. So they engaged the residents. The residents were really aggrieved because you could clearly see some cassava, plantain, palm products, which were had been freshly destroyed by the excavator. Now, according to the residents, they indicated that the said land is not for the owner of Kwan's Estate, that is the CEO of Kwan's Estate. So they want the men to provide documents surrounding their activity. So the engagement went on for a while, and then the people had to stop work on that farm. We engaged the residents who indicated that they've been there for several years. They've been farming the land for several years, and it's a family land which they are farming on. So hence that particular area is not got one being explained by the armed men. So we also moved ahead and then contacted the CEO of Kwanzaa State, who indicated that that particular land has been sent for that issue as well, the court, and hence the people's demonstration indicates that they violated the court order. So he also indicated that he was going to use it against the people because he sought a restraining order from the court on the people not to intervene or interfere with any activity he is going to take or any development he is going to take on the farm. So that is what actually happened at the area today, Salam.
I see. And couldn't the armed men have waited for the farmers or the residents to carry their farm produce away rather than destroy them?
They were also, I would say, time-bound. They were working with some others from the person who engaged them. So theirs was just to protect the excavator because, believe you me, if it wasn't the armed men who were around, the people could have easily set the excavator on fire because you could clearly see the hard work, the sweat of these peasant farmers being destroyed right at where they were. Right in their side, you would see a land you've struggled to cultivate, and then some of these cassavas were even very fresh. They were even ripe for the taking, and then the excavator just passes on your farm, destroys it, grazes the area, and then you are just helplessly looking on. So if it wasn't for the young men who were there, believe me, these aggrieved residents would have easily set the excavator on fire.
So the persons farming on the land, do they belong to the family you said, owns the land? And which family is this? Do you know?
Yes, yes. Even a lady we spoke to indicated that they were it was their grandmother who gave them the land, and personally, she's not entered into any agreement with the owner of Quant's estate. So whatever activity was going on there by the excavator was illegal, according to it's a land which was given to them by their grandmother, and then they cultivated on the land for so many years. So she personally has not, and even I had people, other residents, confirming what the lady said, indicating that they were all pointed that it's for them. The land belongs to that lady's family, and then all the other farmers are also working on that particular stretch of land.
But if indeed the land belongs to the family of the lady you are talking about, where was the family head or the family elders of this particular family when these things were happening? It could only be, or couldn't it be that the family sold the land to the estate developer? Did anything like that come up?
Yes, so signals are picked up from the grounds indicated that, with the issues with family, the lady told she went to see her daughter who had firstly given birth into land. Upon her arrival, she heard that some sections or portions of the land had been sold by her twin sister. And so as we speak now, there's even division among the family, hence all these issues which are coming up now. But this is not the first time we are experiencing a situation in that particular area. Last month, I reported that some acres of land belonging to even Blue Skies Limited in that particular area was also invaded by some armed men, destroying several families by farmers who were farming on that particular area. So the issue about land degradation, issue about sand winning continues to be a major concern for residents in that particular area.
All right, so the Quant's estate gentleman as well, do we know where he bought the land from? Which family sold the land to him?
Yes, he openly indicated that he bought it, he settled some farmers in that particular area. That is why the case is still in court. But he said some people are aggrieved by the transaction. That is why they are also coming up against him. But he clearly indicated, he showed that some documents, some court documents concerning this particular issue, and he indicated that if the matter is still in court, then a restraining order has been put on these people not to interfere with any activity or development he would undertake on that particular plot of land.
So do you know if it's the same family, the lady you spoke to who said the grandmother gave the land to her, etc., the family she belongs to? Do you know if it's the same family that the Quant's estate gentleman is also claiming from?
Yes, it's the same family. It's the same family, fellow. It's the same family.
I see. So how did it end?
So the armed men calmed the members of these residents and assured them they were not going to go ahead with the grading of the area. So it took about close to 2 hours before these people calmed their nerves down, and then we all moved from the field and then came back to the main town proper. But according to the residents, we are still on the lookout because they are not going to, they indicated that they are not going to sit down and then watch their hard-earned sweat go just to wait like that.
Very well. Thanks so much, Neil Ni Amate Kanaku, our Eastern Regional Correspondent, bringing us up to speed on what has been happening in the Okanta community in the Salmeduadri municipality of the Eastern Region. Eyewitness News on 97.3 Citi FM. Howard brings us some more stories.
Flag bearer of the opposition National Democratic Congress, John Dramani Mahama, has expressed confidence that Ghanaians will reject the new Patriotic Party in the upcoming presidential election, citing what he perceives as reckless economic performance. He emphasized that Ghanaians would be better off voting for an experienced former driver over an incompetent driver's mate. Addressing teachers during his campaign tour of the Upper West region, Mr. Mahama urged them to consider voting for the first ever teacher to become the country's vice president.
As you know, yesterday I named my running mate, Professor Nana Jane Opoku-Agyemang, who has been a long-time teacher. Many students have passed through her hands. And she has also been Minister of Education before. And so she is one of you. And so I'm sure that you have a representative and a friend in the highest office of the land, that is the presidency. And I'm sure she will take care of your interests and do the things that would improve the education sector and the teaching profession. I'm happy too that today is International Women's Day, and we've been able to present to the women of Ghana for the second time. We did it in 2020, we're not successful, but this time I know we're going to be successful. We're presenting to the women of Ghana a female running mate, and I'm sure that come 7th January 2025, we shall swear in a female vice president for the first time in Ghana's history. The opportunity has come for us to rescue our nation from the incompetence and inept, clueless administration of Nana Akufo-Addo and his driver's mate. And so on 7th December, the driver is going. And if the driver hasn't been able to drive all these 7 years, he hasn't driven properly, we are not going to hand over the car of Ghana to the driver's mate. If even the driver couldn't drive well, how much less the driver's mate? If you have a car and the driver didn't drive well, and so you are taking your car back, will you give it to your former experienced driver, or you give it to the careless driver's mate? I will give it to my former experienced driver. I will not give it to the driver's mate.
Flag bearer of the NDC, John Dramani Mahama.
Eyewitness News on 97.3 Citi FM. Your messages have been coming in thick and fast. We'll read a few of them after we return from this short break. Don't go away.
Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens.
You know, Papa, see that? And it's rickety car. Hey, Papa! Bobo, so how's your engine now? It is half man, half amazing. Thanks to Cause and you can feel better energy. Can't touch this. Tell you guys, so Sancho's engine just died like that? Yes, so somebody managed to convince him that there is a better engine oil than Quartz, and he switched. Sancho Panza. Now, which engine oil can be better than Quartz? No other, my guy. Quartz with its age-resistant technology, it keeps your engine younger for longer. Now you know. Have you guys seen the new bottle design? It's superb. Quartz 9000 from Total Energies there improves fuel efficiency. Why do you think Mr. Mane and Logoso have taken the Quartz Nation movement World Cup like that? Sorry, Chairman Mane. Chairman. Hey, Chairman! Quartz. Keep your engine younger for longer. Ghana must grow. Boss. KB, yo. Hey, KB, aka Kubeboga, now drives a Bugatti. He can even travel by road from Accra to London. Oh, wow. KB's source of wealth is agriculture. Yes, coconut business. After losing his bank job, he started supplying coconuts at events. Now, he owns large coconut plantations and employs many young people. Charlie, we all need to trust the process, because hope days.
There has never been a better time to enter into agribusiness. Take a bold step today with the Ghana Grows program, because every step pays. Ejuma Wokro, Ghana Grows, Hope Day, an initiative of the MasterCard Foundation in partnership with Springboard Roadshow Foundation and Limehouse.
Let your voice be heard on Eyewitness News on Facebook at facebook.com/Citi97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/Citi973, and Instagram at instagram.com/Citi973 with the hashtag Eyewitness News.
Eyewitness News on 97.3 Citi FM. My name is Salom Adonu. Tonight I'm here with Hawa Idrisu Mustafa. Now, the Ghana Water Company Limited in the Central Region has cut its production by 30% at the Setrehima headworks as a result of galamsey activities along the banks of the River Pra. According to the water company, although some communities within the region will be affected by the move, it is ready to augment this production with supplies from the Bremsu headworks. The manager for the water distribution company in the region, Central Region, Eric Set Atiapa, joins me on the line for some more information on this particular 30% cut. Hello, good evening, sir. Welcome to Eyewitness News. Is the situation that bad that you have to cut water supply or cut the production or treatment of water by some 30%? Talk to us about how bad the situation is.
Thank you very much. For the records, I am rather Nanaya Berima Bani, the communications manager.
Oh, okay. Nanaya
Berima Bani.
Berima Bani. Okay, very apologies. So go ahead. All thanks, right.
Yeah. Good. Yeah. Galamsey, we all know, is an albatross hanging on the necks of Ghanaians. And now the Galamsey operators or the illegal miners on river bodies are so daring that they operate quite close to our intake. The intake is the location where we have the raw water pumps. The pumps abstract the raw water from the river Pra and then sends it to the treatment plant for treatment. But of late, since January, we've witnessed a steady rise in the turbidity of the raw water. When the plant was constructed, the raw water quality at the time was 500 NTU. But currently, our average raw water turbidity is 7,000 NTU. The NTU is nephelometric turbidity unit. That's a unit for measuring turbidity, how hazy, cloudy, or clear the water is. So the water is so bad that if we want to abstract as much as we want, we will end up sending bad quality water to town. Because due to the highly polluted nature of the water, it has to sit at the treatment plant for a very long time before we are able to get clear water. And that is not good. So we need to reduce the amount of water we abstract from the Pra River so that we can still supply water to residents of Cape Coast Metropolis and Elmina municipality, and then their adjoining communities. And that is why we have had to cut down our supply by 30% so that we don't end up sending water that is unwholesome to our customers. So this is a wake-up call for all Ghanaians. In fact, the Galamsey operations affect everybody, including the illegal miners themselves, because the bad quality water, some people are harnessing it and using it to prepare other food for people to buy, unknown to all of us. So this is where we have got to as Ghanaians.
I see. That's quite an unfortunate situation. But given that the Galamsey menace continues to wreak havoc, and Ghana Water Company now is having to deal with this problem, of course, meaning all of us are having to suffer it. What can the Ghana Water Company do? Maybe going beyond your own remit, perhaps getting into the communities to educate them on the ills of galamsey and what, effect galamsey is having on our drinking water? Is this something the Ghana Water Company will want to consider or is doing already?
Thank you very much. I think yesterday my regional chief engineer in charge of Central Region said this. We have already started this kind of engagement with residents along the Praia River, like such a Heman, where we have the plant, and then other communities there. We have already had discussions with them, and we will continue to engage them. On 20th of this month, we are having a wider stakeholders engagement at the University of Cape Coast campus in collaboration with the university. Heads of various institutions that have roles to play in protecting water bodies have all been invited from Western region and Central region. And we are going to do this so that we can have some reprieve as far as the poor quality of the water we treat is concerned. I'm happy to say that when we were distributing these letters in Takoradi, we went to the regional police command and we met the regional police commander, DCOP Osei Akoto. And when we told him of our mission and gave him the letter, immediately he said he was prepared to deploy his men along the river to ward off illegal miners. Following through his commitment or his pledge, he went with us to do what they call recce or the reconnaissance exercise at Secheheman, at Busumase and Daboase, where we have our intakes. So we have been there with them. So very soon, when all the resources they require are obtained, they will deploy some men along the banks of the river to ward off these illegal miners. So this is what we are also doing. And we plead, if there's anybody who can in any way help us take away these greedy people from our river bodies, we will be very, very grateful. Maybe you say, why am I calling them greedy? If they are not greedy, they will not descend on river bodies that are sources of drinking water for Ghanaians to destroy them. In fact, they are actually poisoning our source of drinking water. Yes, they are poisoning it. That is why we are throwing out this invitation or this call to everybody who can help us take away illegal miners from river bodies, because in the end, everybody is affected. Please, if you have just 2 minutes, allow me. Recently, there is a video that's going around. These are residents along the Ankobra River. They fetch the raw water from Ankobra. They put it in barrels, and then they buy whatever quantity of alum they can afford, put it inside. When they see that the color of the water has changed, maybe it becomes colorless somehow, they think the water has not been treated. So they use that polluted water, even though they put alum inside. Alum is not the only chemical that is used in treating water. So this water that is still not potable, that is still untreated, they use that water to prepare cassava dough. They send it to Kumasi, Accra, Takoradi, and other places. And you will have your wife go to market to buy it and prepare sumptuous banku for you to eat. You have nothing to do with illegal miners, but you are going to suffer because of the activity of these, murderers. They are murderers because in the end, some people can die by consuming water that is unwholesome. So we plead with anybody who can help us to help us, because now Ghana Water Company is really bearing the brunt of the activities of illegal miners. You know what? We have used alum for years as a coagulant that's in treating water. Currently, alum is no longer able to help us to treat water. It's no longer potent. We are rather going for a more expensive but potent chemical called polyelectrolyte, or polymer for short. And that polymer is far more expensive than alum. So we are had to spend maybe 3-4 times much more than what we're spending on treatment chemicals. so that we can get water for Ghanaians. All because some people have decided it doesn't matter where the goal is, we will go for it. We are suffering. Please, we need help.
I see. Very, very, very important. You need help. But I'm just concerned. You said you went to the police officer or the police commander. You told him about the activity, and he was so much for it, and immediately deployed his men to join. But the point is, does he have to take you to go to him to make him know that there were illegal miners along the banks of the river to get him to take action? I thought their job was to ensure that criminals, because these galamseyers, that's what they are, the laws declare them as such, are dealt with, as and when. So they are in their offices or their stations. You have to tell them before they take action. Is that the case?
Well, I will not be able to say yes or no, but we are even happy that there is a readiness on the side of the law enforcement agencies to help us deal with Galamsey as far as the pollution of the Pra River is concerned. So we are happy for what we have heard and what the commitment that they have shown so far.
I see. I want to thank you so much for speaking to us. Very ominous picture you've painted there, and we hope that things get better and we have our water bodies back. Eyewitness News on 97.3 Citi FM. That was Nanaya Banye, Public Relations Officer of the Ghana Water Company Limited in the Central Region. A few of your messages that have come through. Mausi Ayebi Attack call says the suggestion that John Kuma could not be airlifted to Accra solely due to logistical challenges raises questions about the efficiency and preparedness of the medical response system. In emergency situations, especially involving high-ranking officials or individuals, priority access to medical care and transportation should be made or should be a top priority. Therefore, it is important to investigate the circumstances that led to the delay or inability to transport John Kuma to Accra for treatment and address any systemic issues that may have contributed to this situation. Very good point there. Aaron Babakun Kokomisa says the death of the Deputy Finance Minister is a tragic event that serves as a stark reminder of the fragility of life. Whether he died of natural causes, foul play, or poor health, the fact remains that his absence will not bring him back. As we grieve his loss, let us remember that death is a warning to the living, a reminder to cherish each moment, to live with purpose, and to leave behind a legacy that will outlive us all. May we learn from this tragedy and strive to make the most of the time we have on this earth. Nene Gaddafi in Yilo Krobo says a country that keeps its burden on international donors can't decide on how to approve its budget, and this is very serious. The future, you say, is pregnant. Eyewitness News on 97.3 Citi FM. Howard gives us some more stories.
Patrons of the 2024 Heritage Caravan have described their experience at the Mole National Park in the Savannah region as both enjoyable and educational. The park hosts a variety of wildlife, including elephants and buffaloes, among others. To them, the opportunity to connect with nature is invaluable, and exploring the habitat of these wild animals is priceless. Speaking to Citi News after a safari ride of the tourist center, the caravanites say the moment captured are unforgettable.
It's been very beautiful. I've been here before, but this is a bit different because this time around I got the chance to watch an elephant going to the river. So I think it's a beautiful thing to behold.
Then so far, actually seeing that elephant really up close, and then getting the opportunity to take pictures with them. I've been here several times, but this is the first time I'm coming to, I don't know if it's a pond or something that has all of them bathing. It's a nice scenery, it's beautiful, and it can only happen with CCTV's Heritage Caravan. It's been very, very exciting seeing how vast the place is, how it's been kept well. I think they've done so well with it. And it's interesting to know that all these wild animals are kept in their natural habitats. And so it's beautiful to see, it's beautiful to watch and observe and then learn about their various species. So, because the tour guide was saying that you see some animals, you think, oh, this antelope, but there are several families of the antelope, there are several families of the the elephant and all of that. So it's been a good learning experience for me. I went to the museum at the reception. I saw so many things that they have kept there, and it's quite intriguing.
So you had some patrons of the 2024 Heritage Caravan.
Eyewitness News on 97.3 Citi FM. We'll take a short break. When we return, City Business News will be up next. Don't go away.
Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens.
You know your papa see that? And it's rickety car. Hey, papa! Bobo, so how your engine now? It is half man, half amazing. Thanks to Quartz and you can feel better energy. Can't touch this. Actually, guys, so Sancho's engine just died like that. Yes, so somebody managed to convince him that there is a better engine oil than Quartz, and he switched. Sancho Panza. Now, which engine oil can be better than Quartz? No other, my guy. Quartz with its age-resistant technology, it keeps your engine younger for longer. Now you know. Have you guys seen the new bottle design? It's superb. Quartz 9000 from Total Energies there improves fuel efficiency. Why do you think Mr. Mane and Logoso have taken the Quartz Nation movement World Cup like that? Sorry. Chairman Mane. Chairman. Hey, Quartz. Keep your engine younger for longer.
Imagine strutting into the most anticipated wedding of the year. Only to see 7 other girls wearing your exact same outfit.
You are special and one of a kind, and that's why whether it's voice, data, or SMS, you get to enjoy personalized offers tailored to your specific needs with MTN Just For You. Dial *141# or select your options on the My MTN app to redeem your unique Just For You package on Ghana's best mobile network. MTN.
Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens.
Get the details. Every significant financial transaction, every market movement, and all the policies that affect your business. City Business News. Be informed.
Time now for City Business News on Eyewitness News, brought to you by GCB Bank PLC. GCB Personal Loan, make that big move and dream a reality. My name is Hawa Idrisu Mustafa. Details of our stories now. Government has passed a legislation to check the influx of substandard cement on the Ghanaian market. The LI is to provide the appropriate mechanism to change the face of the cement manufacturing industry. The Ministry of Trade and Industry has thus inaugurated a 9-member cement manufacturing development committee to create an environment conducive for efficient investment and sanitize the space. Here is Sector Minister Katie Hammond charging members of the committee to provide or to protect the interest of consumers.
You know what your responsibilities are going to be. You have all read copies of this. Do your best. Do your best. Particularly the Chinese involvement in this industry. I'm not very happy at all. I keep hearing stuff that I'm not happy about. Particularly the three companies that we've been talking about. Yesterday, I heard further rumors, whatever it is. I communicated to the Director General. I don't know what these boys are up to, but keep an eye on them. You start almost immediately. Keep an eye on them. As a company which I think is also started to set up without any too. So almost immediately. That's why I'm eager to get this thing going almost immediately. The law is matured, but you got to be functional and make sure that you bring these guys to book. They are true. They know that the law is in place, and still they won't abide by it. So,
You heard the Minister for Trade and Industry, Katie Hammond. The International Monetary Fund, IMF, has stated that it is assessing the possible effect the passage of the anti-gay bill will have on the economy. The Human Sexual Rights and Family Values Bill, also known as the anti-gay bill, which is awaiting presidential assent to come into force, was passed by Parliament last month. This has drawn criticism from various stakeholders in and out of the country. Speaking at a recent press briefing in Washington, D.C., Julie Kozak, director of the IMF's Communications Department, reiterated the need for government to continue implementing the ongoing program as envisaged, ensuring sustainable growth.
Steadfast policy and reform implementation will be needed to fully and durably restore macroeconomic stability and debt sustainability in Ghana. It will be crucial for the government to continue implementing the program as envisaged to ensure sustainable growth and policy implementation. With respect to the specific piece of legislation, our team is evaluating the potential economic and financial implications of the legislation, and we will continue to monitor the situation closely. As we have said before, like institutions, diverse and inclusive economies flourish. And finally, on the timeline, we expect that the next mission will tentatively take place in April.
Director of the IMF's Communications Department, Julie Kozak. Now, women aspiring to occupy top management positions in the oil and gas industry are being urged to prioritize excellence in the work they do. According to the Chief Executive of recruitment firm Lane Services Limited, Dr. Mrs. Ellen Hagan, this should spur women to give off their best at their respective workplaces. She spoke at the launch of Vivo Energy Ghana's She project, which is aimed at equipping women with skills and knowledge within the oil and gas sector.
Whatever we do, we should aim at being excellent. Excellence does not come on a silver platter. It involves work, hard work, so that whenever you are selected for a role, it won't be because there is an affirmative action or they want gender balance, but you'll be selected because you are the right person for the job. You are fantastic and you are great for the job. And when we do our job, we should understand that if should we be mediocre or fail at the job, it would be as though all the women populace have failed, and you may be spoiling the chance of future women in that role. I believe we have had the opportunity to celebrate International Women's Day. It's good. This is our day. But we should stop making excuses and be the best that we can be.
Dr. Mrs. Ellen Hagan is the Chief Executive of Lane Services Limited. For her part, the Corporate Communications Manager for Vivo Energy Ghana, Shelley Tony Combe, emphasized the significance of the She project in promoting gender diversity at the workplace.
All over the world, everyone is celebrating the achievements of women. At the same time, we are taking into account some of the challenges that are impeding our growth, into leadership role. Vivo Energy Ghana is committed to promoting female diversity. So together with HR Focus Africa, we decided to launch this project, that the She Power Project, to promote female diversity and inclusion at the workplace. The beauty of the She Power Project is that it's not solely for Vivo Energy employees, but this one, we are broadening our scope to include school-going children, especially our young girls. Like we indicated, year on year, we realize that there is a gap when it comes to even our graduate training program, where we've given equal number of targets to both female and male. At the end of the selection process, we always realize that there's a false short in terms of the female. The She Power Project, therefore, seeks to address some of these gaps. And together with our employees, we'll be organizing mentorship sessions, there'll be capacity building workshops, there'll be other opportunities for our women to rise into leadership roles.
He had a Corporate Communications Manager for Vivo Energy Ghana, Shelley Tony Combe, and then Citi Business News and Eyewitness News. The Business News and Eyewitness News is brought to you by GCB Bank PLC. GCB Personal Loan, make that big move and dream a reality. My name is Hawa Idrisu Mustafa. Up next is Point Blank.
Hello, Linda. You won't believe what I am planning next.
I want to start my postgraduate degree, buy a car, and build my dream home. But you know what's stopping me?
What's that, Mike?
Money, that be my biggest wahala.
Oh, you are sorted, cry. With a GCB Big Move personal loan promo, you can borrow up to a whopping 400,000 Ghana cedis at a significantly reduced interest rate in less than 24 hours.
Like seriously? How do I qualify?
Yes, it's available to all GCB salary account holders. Plus, you get a 2-month grace period before you start to pay back.
Susket, I'm opening an account with GCB now.
Get a personal loan of up to 400,000 Ghana cedis at a significantly reduced interest rate in less than 24 hours. Call 0800-422-422 or visit your nearest GCB branch today to fund your next big move as we celebrate 70 years of greatness. T's and C's apply. GCB Bank, your bank for life.
Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens.
KB, yo. KB, aka Kubeboga, now drives a Bugatti. He can even travel by road from Accra to London. Oh, wow. KB's source of wealth is agriculture. Yes, coconut business. After losing his bank job, he started supplying coconuts at events. Now, he owns large coconut plantations and employs many young people. Charlie, we all need to trust the process, because hope days.
There has never been a better time to enter into agribusiness. Take a bold step today with the Ghana Grows program because every step pays. Ejuma Wokrom, Ghana Grows, Hope Day, an initiative of the MasterCard Foundation in partnership with Springboard Roadshow Foundation and Limehouse.
Amafwe! Yeah! Media sambisanda mo. Eti amratia no. Mumu hwepa na tumi fi na mo podompe mo mana yakono.
Eye kwabna.
Na mumu honsu na tumi just mali me maye ni nyina de.
Eye kojo.
Enu kro. Kobre tumi wi na podompe mo sense o yusu president eba. Aye den oban ni do braye. Po si echi na mo hoban na sem mana hoode ne. Sa! Ani na kudwo nso yusu president chako. Na eno ne de e ma wo se wo ye krejen fita. Na watimi asiri your mama feel you.
Hey, Kojo, sir.
Yeah. President Eba and a President Chaco. I've heard you. You're gonna natural.
FTIJ Trading Katuyatu. There are some classy celebrations that call for whipping out your favorite China sets. Same goes for your luxury vehicle. Just any engine oil won't do. Premium understands premium best. The new Shell Helix Ultra 0W20 SP with carbon neutral properties is the one for your premium car. It's a fully synthetic motor oil designed using the Shell Pure Plus technology. Prevents dirt buildup with exceptional cleaning power, leaving your pistons cleaner than a whistle up to 50% more than the industry standard and gives you stronger, long-lasting engine performance. So, if you want your classic car to run smoothly like a Ferrari for years to come, use the Shell Helix Ultra 0W20 SP with carbon neutral properties. Shell Helix Ultra 0W20 SP, designed for ultimate engine performance.
Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens.
Tonight on Point Blank, we'll take you back to Parliament, where the minority today initially took a decisive stand rejecting 2 loan agreements totaling some $400 million from the World Bank. Minority Leader Kesela Tuforsin insisted that government first withdraw the $449 million in tax waivers before gaining approval for the loans. However, after Finance Minister Mohammed Amin Adam provided assurances that the tax waivers would undergo review, the minority subsequently approved a $300 million loan aimed at supporting the first resilient recovery development policy financing. Yeah, excerpts from Minority Leader Kesela Tuforsin's submission, followed by remarks from MP for Asin Central Kennedy Ejapon and Asawasi MP Muntaka Mubarak.
Our country is sinking in debt. Our country is being mismanaged in the way debt is being accumulated. Mr. Speaker, we cannot, in good conscience, Mr. Speaker, accept this country to be round aground in this manner. Mr. Speaker, why am I saying so? Mr. Speaker, why am I saying so? Mr. Speaker, I say so because this same MPP government is calling on us, Mr. Speaker, to approve 2 loans today. One, $150 million, another $300 million US. The 2 put together, Mr. Speaker, is $450 million US. Mr. Speaker, at the same time, tax exemptions before the Finance Committee is amounted to $449 million US. Mr. Speaker, we do not need to borrow. We do not need to borrow. Because the tax exemptions alone, if we manage it well, Mr. Speaker, if we manage the tax exemptions well, Mr. Speaker, that $450 million that we are going to the World Bank to borrow, Mr. Speaker, we can get it locally. Mr. Speaker, in good conscience, our position is that if the government wants, they should come and withdraw these tax exemptions. They should come and withdraw these tax exemptions. And if they withdraw these tax exemptions, in good conscience, we will see that this government has taken steps, positive steps, to recover the economy that they've run aground. Mr. Speaker, I urge the new minister responsible for finance that this is your moment to make your name. This is your moment to make your name. By signaling to the international community and to Ghanaians that you care. By signaling to all of us that you will be a different finance minister. By withdrawing the tax exemptions before us. Mr. Speaker, I say this passionately. Mr. Speaker, there's only one Ghana. There is only one Ghana. All of us must care about this country. But the way this is being managed, Mr. Speaker, this is indeed unpatriotic. This is unpatriotic and it should not be allowed to stand. Mr. Speaker, why are we giving $449 million to people that they have already, the things that they claim they want the $49 million, Mr. Speaker, tax exemption for, they've already cleared it. Mr. Speaker, I have the list. I have the list of companies, totaling 45 companies, that this House, our minister responsible for finance, representing this government, has submitted to the Finance Committee, for Finance Committee, Mr. Speaker, to exempt them in taxes. Mr. Speaker, our position is simple. In good conscience, in the interest of our country, as patriotic as I am, I cannot support this loan. Mr. Speaker, I cannot support this loan unless, Mr. Speaker, this tax exemption is withdrawn. Mr. Speaker, if they withdraw these tax exemptions, all of us, seeing that this government has changed course, will support this loan. Mr. Speaker, apart from that, let everybody know, let it be recorded here, that the NDC minority today stood with the people of Ghana. And we've shown to the people of Ghana that if you are not patriotic, we are patriotic and we care about our country. Mr. Speaker, I'm scandalized. I am disappointed, Mr. Speaker. Why am I saying so? I say so because, the Speaker, in difficult times, when your country is in crisis, when your country is going down, you take steps to recover it. But, Mr. Speaker, our colleagues, this government is behaving as if we are in normal times. Mr. Speaker, we are not in normal times. We are not in normal times. The economy is going down by the day. Let that notice be made clear to you. That, Mr. Speaker, we are not in normal times. The only time that, Mr. Speaker, we can fix this is by signaling to the international community and even to ourselves that this government has changed course. But unfortunately, from what we have seen, it's more of the same. It's more of the same. So, Minister, I want to urge you, if you want us, Minister of Finance, if you want us to support this, I urge you to seize this moment, and withdraw these tax exemptions. And if you withdraw these tax exemptions, I will support you. I will support you to make sure you get this loan. But until you withdraw this tax exemption, the NDC members of Parliament will never support this loan because, Mr. Speaker, you have shown that you are being wasteful. Mr. Speaker, that is our position. That is our position. Because $449 million in tax exemption, Mr. Speaker, is a bit too much. And because, Mr. Speaker, in doing so, we oppose this vehemently.
We want a reason for the tax exemption. If, with all due respect, screaming for the whole world to know that the minister has submitted 449 million tax exemption for 45 companies, what is the benefit of the tax exemption for the companies, the 45 companies? We want to know. So, with all due respect, the way the minority leader is presenting the case, I disagree. Because yesterday, for instance, I happened to be at this Santio Oil. And talking to him, I asked him the cost of the investment. And the cost of the investment is about $2 billion. For 5 million tons of finished products. He is producing 2 million tons, which is 40%. And he wants to expand it, the second phase, to cover the 5 million tons import of oil. So if such a company comes to ask for exemption, and you scream that the finance minister has submitted 45 companies, 449 million, you see, I am not privy to the companies. I'm not privy to the companies. But give the finance minister benefit of the doubt. Let him present these figures and the number of companies that have applied. We can deduce from the information and know that if it is beneficial to the country or not. But if you come out and say 449 million is a condition for the loan of 300 million, then, Mr. Speaker, I think our minority leader is misleading. Come again and just accept this. Yeah, you need to give us the 449, the reasons and the companies.
Having been a member of Parliament for over 2 decades, you know the abusive nature of tax exemptions. Because people come to tell you, these are the reasons why we need tax exemptions. When it comes to implementation, they do the other way. They do other things. So you see if you have followed the tax waivers. When you demand details and you see some of the items that are listed for the tax exemptions, you wonder as members of Parliament whether we are really doing our oversight very well. That is why, because of those challenges, that is why you see almost every company is running to this house for a tax waiver, because they know we are not doing proper scrutiny. Not only us, but even the Ministry of Finance itself. It has become a social business for people in government to simply bring tax waivers, hoping that once it goes through, it becomes business for others. We are saying that simply, yes, we agree with you. Every in the US, in China, all those things, they do those things to entice companies to invest. But what they do is that they turn it as tax credit. So it becomes a tax credit in your account. So when the year comes and you are going to pay your tax, then it is then deducted. Because you have to pay the tax, you want to justify and show evidence that these are truly deductibles. But it's not the way that we do as upfront. Mr. Speaker, it will be very difficult for us as a country and parliamentarians who are supposed to protect the purse and play oversight to sit down and we are dashing one group about $449 million. And then on another breath, we are running here to look for another $450 million as loans, where we will have to pay with our toil and sweat. It doesn't make sense anywhere. It doesn't make sense anywhere that you dash this money and then you are also seeking loan to do about the same thing. But I'm sure these $449 million that are here as tax waivers, if they were turned into tax credit, and I'm happy the new Minister of Finance is listening, if they are turned into tax waivers, tax credit, I can bet you when it comes to claiming, you will not get up to 200 million of it being claimed because of the vigorous nature of tax credit and its retiring. But the way it is, Mr. Minister, it has become a blank check that we are giving many of these companies. And it is not right because you and I sit here as members of parliament. You tax us at 25%. Check our salary. Every one of us, go to the account and pick your salary slip. You will see that you are taxed at 25% because you are put into the high bracket. Companies who are struggling within our own country, they are paying corporate tax of over 20%. You have all manner of persons within this country working day and night, and they are paying taxes. Yet we have these foreign companies that are coming, and all they do is to run here with tax waivers. Mr. Speaker, like I said, this loan, technically, looking at what the loan is meant for, would naturally should not attract the kind of challenges that is facing. But because of the numerous tax waivers that we have on our books, it doesn't make rational sense for us to be approving this when we have all that on our books. It is on this that I want to plead with the leadership of majority, together with the Minister of Finance, simply withdraw the tax waivers and let's pave way for this unanimous approval of this. Because, Mr. Speaker, I'm sorry to say this. On any day, we could have this argument and shout and scream, but not today. Today is not such a day for us to be doing this. Why? A day after the death of our colleague, we are standing here and we are screaming at each other, and the Lord is coming from the very ministry that our colleague has lost his life. How sensitive are we to each other? Yet we are here screaming at each other and talking about this law. So simply, Minister of Finance, withdraw those tax waivers so that we can unanimously as a group approve this, so that you can take your time and look at all the tax waivers, turn them into tax credits and bring them back. That one becomes neater. But now you are saying that we should give you this and then later you come and do the withdrawal. Where do you hear that? So simply withdraw the tax waivers and then we unanimously support you to get this loan. Then you take your time and tell all those. No, we do. They are on the other paper. They are here. They are on the other paper. So if you simply withdraw them, when he withdraws them, then we can unanimously approve this. When we do, then it will help us to be able to do this in unison and as a family without acrimony. But as it stands now, I don't think it makes sense for us to be supporting this. And I hope I can see my Honorable Stephen Amua screaming from the back. Well, I know the day will come when you are on this side. I will remind you. Remember, those of us who have sat on both sides, when you are screaming from the back, we will look at you. Because the day will come when you are here, you start screaming, and I'll remind you about that. So, Mr. Speaker, in conclusion, my hope is that the Minister of Finance and the leadership should be able to build some consensus and get us doing these things in unison. Because very soon the flood will start in Accra, and we don't want the kind of destruction that we all see. But as it stands now, simply withdraw the waivers and let us approve this.
Rise to support the report and urge members to approve the concessional financing agreement between the Government of Ghana and the International Development Association for an amount of 300 million to be used as budget support for the 2024 budget. Mr. Speaker, in doing so, I'd like to state it clearly that the debate is not about tax waivers. The debate is about a report that is before us. But I want to use this opportunity to just explain to members the issue of the tax waivers. It has come about because of the 1D, 1F policy that the government brought to this house. So all the tax waivers before the Finance Committee are local companies. Just to set the tone right, Mr. Speaker, they are local companies. And I will mention a few of them for us to know that they are local companies that we want to support, local companies that we want to solidify, so that they can afford to create more jobs and also improve the economy. Mr. Speaker, I want to mention B5 Plus. This has been brought to the Finance Committee, which is a Ghanaian company. There's also Ferro Fabric Limited, which is a Ghanaian company. Mr. Speaker, there's Mario Forestry Limited, which is a Ghanaian company. There's Everpure Limited, which is a Ghanaian company. So if you are telling us today that what can we do to improve the economy, and government is saying, through the 1D, 1F, these are some of the things I want to do to make sure these companies stand the test of time and be able to work hard to employ more people and also to create the right and conducive environment for all of us. You say, withdraw this. This is not what is in contention today, Mr. Speaker. We are talking about a 300 million IDA facility. Again, Mr. Speaker, let me just mention a few. We all know Standard Ghana Limited. We came here just a few months ago to give them some waivers to enable them produce sanitary towels without taxes. And so my people here, I'm really surprised at the way they are behaving, because they are the same people who told government take off or waive off taxes on parts. And today, a part manufacturing company is being given a tax waiver, and you say you have a problem with that. I mean, we have to be straight, we have to be direct, and tell the Ghanaians the truth, Mr. Speaker. So these tax waivers are actually for local manufacturing companies. Mr. Speaker, we were here. I was in this house when my colleagues on the other side did not even bother to bring waivers for Jata Cement, did not even bother to bring waivers for Tank Palace, yet they went ahead and gave them waivers because we all felt they were Ghanaian companies under the GIPC Act. We all felt they were Ghanaian companies, which, if they should prosper, would help all of us. And so here we are. Now we've brought all these things to Parliament. We want to introduce transparency and accountability. And they said they have a problem. And because of that, they are not going to pass, we are not going to pass support that we said we're going to use for the 2024 budget. Mr. Speaker, respectfully, I ask my friends here to change their positions. Before, Mr. Speaker, I conclude, I just want us to go to page 6, item 7.1, line 2. It's supposed to be 2024 and not 2014. So amend the report as such. And then when you come to 7.2, it is supposed to be macro and not micro. So please amend the report as such. Mr. Speaker, in total, we are looking at 900 million between 2023 to 2025. And this is the first tranche. And we urge our members on the other side to support us to push through this and help us implement the same budget that we will be taking monies from to help the flood victims, the same budget that we will be taking monies from to build infrastructure projects in our various constituencies. So, Mr. Speaker, with these few words, I'd like to thank you and urge my members on the other side to do the needful.
I think we are saying the same thing. The simple question we are posing is that the committee, which includes members on the other side, in their report, signed by the chairman of the committee, is saying that this money is not dedicated to any specific project in the budget. That is the statement in the report. So how then do you come to this house to say that, look, I am borrowing $3 million to support general budget, so approve? What is the meaning of this, Mr. Speaker? So we want them to provide us the details as to how they are going to utilize the $300 million. Then, Mr. Speaker, another important point which has to do with the waivers. This is captured on page 7 under point number 8.0. 8.0. They express concerns that put together these tax exemptions will amount to some 12.5 billion Ghana cedis. Tax exemptions will amount to some 12.5 billion Ghana cedis, which outstrips the 11 billion Ghana cedis that the government seeks to mobilize from new taxes introduced in the 2024 budget. Mr. Speaker, this report is telling us that when you look at the 2024 budget, and then you look at all the new taxes that were introduced in the budget, the new taxes are supposed to rake in revenue amounting to 11 billion Ghana cedis. But we are granting tax waivers amounting to 12.5 billion Ghana cedis. And so, Mr. Speaker, there is a need for us to relook at the tax waivers they are talking about. If we didn't win here, we are asking the Ghanaian people to pay taxes, new taxes, amounting to 11 billion. And we are giving away 12.5 billion as tax waivers. Mr. Speaker, it does not make sense. Something is wrong somewhere. And that is why we are saying that we should investigate that. But Mr. Speaker, more importantly, why should borrowing $300 million become an issue in Parliament? Why do we have to, debate, have this heated argument over this small amount of money? Mr. Speaker, it is because of what has happened to this country. In 2016, 7 January 2017, when the NDC was handing over power to the MPP, the total debt stock of our nation was 122 billion. 122 billion Ghana cedis. Mr. Speaker, they said it was too huge for Ghanaians at the time. And if you recall, in the State of the Nation address, 2017 by Mr. President, Nana Akufo-Addo, he lambasted the NDC government for leaving that stock for this nation. Mr. Speaker, then they started borrowing. They will bring the law here, we will speak against it, they will defend it like they are doing today, use their numbers to pass it. Eventually, Ghana's debt stock reached unsustainable levels, and Ghana became a laughing stock in the international market, to the extent that because of our huge debts, we have implemented debt exchange program. Mr. Speaker, we have filed for insolvency. We are broke. Ghana is broke. And today, we are borrowing again. We are borrowing 300 million. And we are saying that without the 300 million, we cannot survive. In 2021-2022, they borrowed 77 billion from Bank of Ghana, an equivalent of $8 billion. $8 billion in 2 years. Nothing happened to the economy. Nothing happened to the economy. No change. We are still suffering. And now you brought e-levy here. Oh, with e-levy, the whole nation will change. Let's pass e-levy. We'll fix all our roads. We'll buy you fertilizer. We'll bring you water, electricity, everything. At the end of the day, nothing happened. And today you are here defending 300 million.
Honorable Eric,
as the panacea to
thank
our problems.
you.
Look at what you have done to the
Thank
nation.
you very much,
The
Honorable
damage
Eric.
you have done to our economy. Mr. Speaker, in the interest of the upcoming generation, we must put an end to the borrowing.
Thank
Because
you.
You borrow
Thank
too
you.
much.
Mr. Speaker, let me take this opportunity to clarify a few issues. First of all, this is not an IMF facility. It is a World Bank facility. It is a concessional facility, 25 years repayment period, a grace period of 5 years, interest of about 1.25%, and it has a grant element of 26%. It's concessional, and this House is familiar with such concessional facilities. Secondly, it is for budget support. This same House approved the financing for the 2024 budget, total financing of about 61 billion.
And this is one of the facilities that we are pursuing to finance the financing for the 2024 budget. And therefore, as we already know, the 2024 budget through this House allocated resources to different projects and programs for the year. And so what this money will do is to come to the pool, as we know, to support the implementation of these programs for the year. Mr. Speaker, I'd like to also correct a statement, I think, on page 7, to the effect that the Ministry of Finance is preparing about 7 billion Ghana cedis of exemptions to be brought to Parliament for consideration. Mr. Speaker, I'm not aware of this, and I'm not preparing exemptions of about 7 billion Ghana cedis for consideration by Parliament. But, Mr. Speaker, having said this, I've taken note of the concerns of honorable members, particularly my friends from the other side, regarding the exemptions, the tax exemptions for some projects. And I want to assure them that I will take a look at these exemptions, I will rationalize it, I will review it, and I'll come back in 2 weeks to report to Parliament. And I hope that when I come, honorable members will support me in whatever rationalization we are going to do. Mr. Speaker, Honorable Minister, have you finished? Mr. Speaker, based on what I have just said, I want to appeal to members to support this facility. It is budget support. It will help us implement the programs of government for job creation, so we can also be able to take care of the vulnerable and the poor in our society. So I thank you very much for the opportunity. Thank you very, very much.
You heard that debate in Parliament regarding the approval of a World Bank facility, $300 million World Bank facility. And that debate was concluded by the Honorable Minister for Finance, Dr. Mohammed Amin Adam. This has been our show for tonight and for this week, produced by Nana Kobna Wilson, Beverly London, and Sami Wiafi. Production assistance provided by Daniel Squashi. Social media support given by Daniel Abugri and Edwin Kwakofi. Earlier you heard Hawa Idrisu Mustafa. My name is Salom Adunu. Up next is Sports Panorama. Have a good evening.